Welcome back for our final session. I hate to say that anytime because this show in itself has just been so interesting. There's a lot of good information, but I want you to remember, be sure to contact Riz if you have any questions. And I know you're going to have some. And if you want to set up something for the schools or anything else, like I say, I'm going to be contacting our superintendent to make sure that he's aware of everything that's available. I know he's already aware of it, but I want to get his interest so that he talks to all the leaders in all of our schools. And maybe have Riz come out and talk to, hey, put on a program, a full day of something. This is fantastic stuff.
And we do that. So we go to schools, we take several of our team, bring equipment, drones, 3D printers, robots. We just put it all on display. And we've done it for elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. And it's interesting, we went to a elementary school about a year and a half ago in Las Vegas and did this. And I asked if they could have every student available. And they split them up in two. We went into the lunchroom, big room. And so we had about 350 students at a time, two groups. And at the end of each session, I had a microphone walking around and I said, ask me any question you want. And interestingly, if I were to just write those questions down and then show them to you on a piece of paper and say, how old do you think people or a person was that was asking this question? You'd never know this was elementary school students. And when I would say things like, who wants to be a pilot? Everyone raises their hand.
Sure.
Who wants to be an engineer? Who wants to be a rocket scientist? Who wants to, play with technology-related stuff, drones, robots, things of that nature? They're all interested. It's a matter of just giving the tools and the resources so that they can continue that interest and take those opportunities and make them into careers.
I like what you said earlier, too. Once they see it, they cannot unsee it.
They can't unsee it, and that's the beauty of it. So I want to show you a couple of things from the Reno Air Races. We give a lot of stuff to students to take home because that, we hope, plants a seed and they can continue looking into stuff. So one is we give them a passport. And the passport, on the back of the passport, it shows the things we want them to see at the very minimum. There are 8 things listed on the back of the passport. And one is fly on the flight simulator. One is drive a robot. Go to the military display. Take a 3D printed plane with you. Take it home. Get your aviation collector cards. So there's a set of 6. And this year, in 2018, our aviation collector cards were augmented reality capable. What does that mean? We created an app where if you held the app on your phone against the aviation collector card, so an aviation collector card is the size of a baseball collector card. So this is the F-22 from our 2017 set, and here's a P-51 Mustang from our 2018 set. If I hold my phone against this with the app, it will pop up a 3D model. So, I'll try to show that while I'm talking so we don't get too sidetracked here. But it's quite interesting because when you think about what does a young person or older person like me who, let's see if this will pop up. Oh, there you go. See that plane right there? I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to go ahead and hit a button here. Well, you get the idea. I was going to hit the button that makes it spin, and I'm doing this in the reverse. And anyway, so we stop. But anyway, the app is called GRAD. So if you have an Android device, you can go to our website, grad.co/AR. And it'll list all this stuff and where to get the app, and it also has the pictures. So you don't actually need these cards. You can just do it from our website with the pictures that are listed on the website.
Only on that type phone?
Android. Only on Android. We will come up with the iPhone version once we are done testing and perfecting this this version here. So let's look at the pilot and training sticker. So that's a pilot and training sticker. Every student that comes through gets to wear one of those. We give them the aviation collector cards. We give them a 3D printed F-86 plane. That's what we did this year. So let's go ahead and put one more thing up about what makes me so excited about the stuff we're doing. You can tell I'm excited. So go ahead and put up, if you would, the postcard that one of the schools sent, which was so awesome, I had tears when I was reading it. So there's the postcard. Now, it looks small, but that postcard is about 2 feet wide by about a foot tall, and it was the 6th grade class, as you see, of the O'Brien STEM Academy, and there you are. So go ahead and read that. Pretty cool.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So let's go ahead.
That's a keeper.
That's a keeper. Yeah, I couldn't. I was like, oh, this is incredible. You know,
yes.
Thank you so much to the O'Brien STEM Academy in Reno, Nevada. Now we're going to look at this one last video, and this is a 3D model of the interior of a Boeing 777.
Okay.
Except this plane is not your normal 777. So let's go ahead and take a look. So when you enter the plane, actually you're in a restaurant and a bar, and the table, as we go towards the main cabin, this was sitting at McCarran, by the way, and I offered to 3D model it, and they accepted because I offered to do it for free. So the table over here, and they didn't really know what they were saying yes to, but I think after they saw this, that table that we're panning right now is a poker, blackjack table. A blackjack table, correction. Okay. Now we're going to go into the main cabin. This plane has 88 seats. Every seat turns into a bed. Every seat has a 24-inch touchscreen display. There are multiple bathrooms. There are 2 kitchens. There are, embroidered leather luggage that comes with it when you fly. It's a private plane, so you'd have to charter that for you and your, 87 best friends. And you can imagine it's not cheap, but it's kind of like being on a cruise ship in the sky.
Yeah.
So we can go ahead and fast forward that. That's a 3D model. What does that mean? That means that we can use, let's go in that bathroom. Here's your bathroom in this plane. It's not terrible.
No,
that would work, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So the thing about this model is that it's accurate for doing measurements. So if tomorrow the owner of the plane says, that carpet is getting worn, we want to get it recarpeted, they don't have to have a crew come into the plane to measure how much carpeting they need. They could just use our model. We give them a special link, and they just draw on the link as if they have the CAD drawings. They can just go in there, measure the width and the length and everything else, and decide exactly what they need. So that's a cool thing. We could go ahead and finish that video so we can get on with the rest of our stuff here.
Everything you want to show.
Yes.
Okay.
So in the last couple of minutes, I'm going to talk about our 2019 initiatives for Nevada. So number one, I said before, we brought 6 schools, some sort of aviation program this year in Southern Nevada.
Right.
We have schools all across Nevada looking at it. But in 2019-20 school year, we want 25 schools to bring aviation, whether if it's after school, during school, or both, into their school. And we will help them to do that. Next thing, we as an organization are giving, in 2019, we're giving 100 scholarships for what's called Part 107 remote pilot certification training. And what you'll get to do is, here's a drone. I mean, it's a basic drone. It's a very simple drone. But it can be used for professional purposes. Well, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to be certified by the FAA to do so. And in order to take the exam, you need to training, and we are going to give scholarships for that training.
Oh, okay.
So those are 2 major things. And
how many scholarships?
100 scholarships. So we're going to give 100 scholarships. We're still deciding, who can apply for those scholarships. For sure, 16 to 25-year-olds. You only have to be 16 to get this pilot certificate for Part 107. So technically, as a 16-year-old while still in high school, you could be carrying the certificate and go make money flying a drone for professional purposes, which is very cool. So those are just some of the high points of what we're doing. In 2019, we're going to be again at the Reno Air Races with even a bigger program. We're going to have drones and robots and all kinds of other cool technology things. Plus, we're going to have a netted drone area, we call it the drone zone, that we're going to do drone demonstrations and some workshops and things of that nature.
Okay.
So
A lot of excitement coming up?
A lot of excitement coming up.
Okay. And you're always available to answer questions. So if somebody, again, I'd always like to give contact information because people have questions. I know I tell them every show, write down this information because you're not going to remember everything. And if you have questions, you got to make the call.
Make the call. I mean, the thing is that we get, and this is a fun part of what I do, is I get contacted by different folks, whether if it's a parent wanting to bring their child to take a tour of our office and kind of get to learn about aviation and aerospace and drones and other things, or it's a group of, that wants to bring, say, a school, wants to bring a classroom to take a tour, or they want us to go and do some kind of a presentation for them.
Okay.
So all of those things are available. We are, the state's sort of STEM education force for aviation, aerospace, and drones. Obviously, robotics comes into it because a drone is a flying robot. It has the same components.
Right.
The vehicle's different. It's an aerial vehicle versus a ground vehicle. But otherwise, you have similar stuff. You got to deal with data links, and you got to deal with the control unit that flies or drives your robot. So we teach all those things. We talk about programming and cybersecurity and data security, but in addition to the actual vehicle and the piloting and doing all of the different operational things you need to do when you go out and do a professional operation. What does that require? What kind of camera or sensor do you have on there? How do you analyze the data? So it's a lot of cool stuff, and we find that the youth are pretty quick on picking up the information.
That they are. Now, you mentioned STEM several times, and I know you told us what it meant, but how about telling us again, because I think it's so important.
Absolutely. So STEM is this buzzword that the federal government kind of, I think, coined, but it's science, technology, engineering, math. Science, technology, engineering, math. And it really is, in about a decade, the majority of high-paying jobs are STEM-based. What does that mean? That means, you're going to have good science and math background, and you're going to have to, get those certificates or diplomas or college, graduate from college, but one of those paths.
But this is a start.
This is a great start.
This is where to start, and again, get the information. Riz is available, so please contact him if you have any questions at all. And this is not only for students that are interested. Tell your parents about it. Tell your teachers about it. We want the administrators. We want our superintendent. We want everybody to know that it's so available in this area as well. And Riz is willing to come here and tell us more about it and show us more information. And this is what it's all about.
Sounds great. Invite me back. I'll be back.
I am just so thankful that you came, and I really want to thank you. And I know everybody out there is listening and thanks you. So next month, we're going to have another show for you. But thank you, Riza, for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.